A minor character in Fahrenheit 451 is a character named Faber, named after the pencil, Faber-Castell pencils. He's a really interesting character, and probably the character that I relate to the most. He's a character that looks back on his life with a sense of regret, and especially regrets that when they came to destroy his university library, he didn't stand up and do something. Faber was a classics professor, described by Bradbury as a classics professor at a large Western university. And I have to speculate that he really means UCLA. I mean, after all, Bradbury did write Fahrenheit 451 on a pay typewriter in the basement of Powell Library. Faber, though a minor character, is an important character because he informs the backstory of 451. He explains to the protagonist, Montague, how the dystopic world of no books, that is 451, came about. Really interesting stuff because in many ways the things that happened to create the world of 451 are things that are happening right now in our own society. The prophet, that is Ray Bradbury, has laid out in front of us a roadmap which we are following to the letter to get to the world of Fahrenheit 451. To begin with, that world comes about not because of some sort of censorship by the government, but rather apathy on the parts of people. People not wanting to learn or to be informed, people putting their heads in the sand because the world that's swirling around them is an increasingly terrible place of war and poverty. Faber tells how the world of 451 happens incrementally. And very interesting, he says that the first step on the road to Fahrenheit 451's world is all of the newspapers basically folding. The newspapers go under because people are distracted by television more and more, and by reality television more and more, and by bigger and bigger and bigger screen televisions more and more, and the news is bad all of the time, and so people just sort of stop reading the newspaper because, you know, they're out playing sports, or they're watching sports, or they're watching reality television, or they're engaged in this sort of internet reality world that's going on as part of the backstory. So newspapers disappear. The next thing is university libraries start getting rid of their books. And then there's this evolution of the firemen who do become censors and keep people from having books. But it's not that there's any sort of censorship, it's that people don't want books. They don't want to know. And that's why Faber is a really interesting character in forming the story. And I'm going to read a few quotes from Faber, if you don't mind. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Obviously, this is a book that I find quite relevant to the situation that's going on. Montague gave him the book. It's been a long time. I'm not a religious man, but it's been a long time. Faber turned the pages, stopping here and there to read. It's as good as I remember. Lord, how they've changed it in our parlor these days. Christ is one of the family now. I often wonder if God would recognize his own son the way we've dressed him up or we've dressed him down. He's a regular peppermint stick now, all sugar crystal and saccharin. When he isn't making veiled references to certain commercial products that every worshiper absolutely needs. Faber sniffed the books. Do you know that books smell like nutmeg or some spice from a foreign land? I love to smell them. When I was a boy, Lord, there were a lot of lovely books once, before we let them go. Faber turned the pages. Mr. Montague, you are looking at a coward. I saw the way things were going a long time back. I said nothing. I'm one of the innocents who could have spoke up and out when no one would listen to the guilty, but I didn't speak and thus became guilty myself. And when finally they set the structure to burn the books, using the firemen, I grunted a few times, and I subsided, for there were no others grunting or yelling with me.